that is extending TPS for Yemeni nationals, which is the United States has extended the temporary protected status for Yemen for an additional 18 months, allowing eligible Yemeni nationals to register or re-register for the designation. If you currently have TPS and would like to keep it, you would need to register during the 60-day registration period, which starts this month. If you're not under that status, you can file an initial application to begin the process. And to talk about this, we have with us today Marilú Cabrera. She is the Public Affairs Officer with the Department of Homeland Security of the Citizenship Immigration in the Northwestern region, and she's joining us from Chicago. Good morning.
Good morning, Khalil. Thank you so much for having me. Such a wonderful topic to have this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you for waking up early to be with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. This is not early for me.
Okay.
A long time ago, but it's always my pleasure to be here with you, with Layla, and with your whole community, hopefully sharing information that can be useful to your community.
We hope so. We hope so. The number here is 248-557-3300. If you have a question about the TPS, please give us a call, whether it is in Arabic or in English. Give us a call, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. So could you tell us, first about what is TPS and then about the extension?
Absolutely. So TPS, and I've been on the program to discuss TPS in the past for different countries, and it's really a good relief for certain individuals. But it is a temporary relief that the Secretary of Homeland Security will designate to a particular country. And in this case, it was Secretary of Homeland Security Jay Johnson who has redesignated Yemen for temporary protective status. And for, as you mentioned, for an additional 18 months. Now, TPS, it's important to understand, TPS is temporary, just as the name says. This does not lead to lawful permanent residency. It is a temporary status benefit that allows qualified individuals from the designated countries, in this case Yemen, who are in the United States. It allows them to stay here for a limited period of time, and it also allows them to work here in the United States. So, again, we're talking about countries who have ongoing armed conflicts, such as a civil war, perhaps it's an environmental disaster, an earthquake or a hurricane or some sort of epidemic or another extraordinary temporary condition. So along with the State Department, the Homeland Security will review the country conditions and then decide, whether these individuals can return to their country. And if they can't, then the United States will most definitely provide that TPS and provide a safe place for them until they can return. And currently there are 13 countries that have that designated TPS, and many of them not for the first time. So Yemen, this is a redesignation. They have gone back to look at the conditions in Yemen and have determined that it's not safe for those nationals to return.
So who qualifies?
Well, basically, there's very definitive qualifications that you need to meet. In order to extend your TPS, you have to re-register during the 60-day period. And this was announced on January 4th. So the re-registration period runs, it started January 4th of this year, 2017, through March 16th of 2017. So those people with TPS who are from Yemen, they already have TPS, they can apply, they have until March 6th to reapply to, the redesignation. Now, the good news is that if you do not have TPS, you're not out. This is a redesignation, but it does allow Yemeni nationals and persons without nationality who last habitually resided in Yemen, so that's an important point too, to also apply for TPS, or to apply for TPS for the first time, and they have a 180-day initial registration period. And that runs, it started January 4th of this year, and it runs through July 3rd of 2017. So in order to apply, these individuals have to have been residing in the United States as of January 4th of this year. So it can't be someone that arrived today. They have to have been here since January 4th, and they have to be living here in the United States continuously. So since March 4th. So they have to get permanent residence. That allows these individuals to apply for the TPS, and the application form that they need to use is Form I-821. It's the application for temporary protective status. That's what everybody, that's what everybody needing, all countries needing TPS would apply. And the Form I-765, which is the application for employment authorization. And you need to file that regardless of whether you want the EAD or not. So that's important to note, that you have to file both those forms, I-821, and I'm looking that up right now, and the I-765, which is the usual form that you file for employment authorization. So again, you need to have this done. If you already have TPS and you're from Yemen, you have 60 days to apply for re-registration, and that's until March 6th. So you have until March 6th. Please don't wait until the last minute. That's my personal recommendation. I know it's human nature to wait till the last minute, but it's important to get that application in. And then if you do not currently have TPS and you're from Yemen, you have until July 3rd to file that I-21 application and hopefully secure your TPS.
So you have to be in the U.S. to do that. Is that correct?
You have to be in the U.S. to do that, correct. This is not, there's other forms of relief for individuals who are outside the United States, or who come in, for example, you could file for asylum coming in, or if you're a refugee and you meet those qualifications, that's something else you can do. But for TPS, those are individuals who are already here, who have been here since January 4th. I'm sorry.
These people have come in on a tourist visa, or how do they come to the United States if they don't have TPS?
It doesn't. It doesn't
or
really
does it matter?
It doesn't really matter. They're here,
yeah.
So we're not going to look. As with other benefits, we might look at, was there an unlawful entry? It doesn't matter. They're here. The country, the United States, realizes that their country is not safe to return to, so we will not initiate any sort of, our agency doesn't support, but we will not issue a notice to appear. We will not put them in any sort of proceedings or talk to ICE to have them deported. They are safe from that when they have temporary protective status, regardless of whether they're here unlawfully or not. And the most, we're assuming that they need this benefit because they don't have status here in the United States otherwise. So they may have come in on a temporary visa, on a visitor's tourist visa, what have you. But that part doesn't really matter. The part that matters is that they're here. They were here continuously residing in the United States as of January 4th, 2007, and now they have nowhere to go. They can't return to their country, and they may need to work. They may need a way to survive here, to pay for rent or what have you, to clothe their children, feed their families. So this provides them that temporary relief until they can return, and that's such an important part because this is not something that you can eventually become a legal permanent resident and then a citizen of the United States. This is not a way to immigrate to the United States. This is a temporary benefit that allows you to work and to live here without that fear of being returned to your country, but it does not give you permanent residency down the line. So there are individuals, though, who do not qualify for TPS, and those are, if you've been convicted of a felony or 2 or more misdemeanors committed here in the United States, you're not eligible. So, we're going to look at that, and I think that, that sounds, pretty obvious, but I did want to...
Absolutely. What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back to continue talking about TPS. Please stay tuned.
معكم الشيف أحمد إبراهيم من سوبر ماركت زمزم المطعم. عندنا أكلات كتير عراقية ومصرية ولبنانية زي جلابة وتشيكن طاووق وكباب ومسقعة، وأحيانا بنعمل الملوخية والكشري وفراخ مشوية، وكل اللي انتوا عايزينه موجود عندنا. اتفضلوا زورونا في محلات زمزم.
احييكم من اسواق زمزم، ويوجد عندنا تخفيضات كثيرة على الاسواق وعلى الجروسري وعلى الخضار وعلى اللحوم. عندنا لحوم حلال، والمطعم كله لحوم حلال كمان. واتمنى لكم السلامة والدوام، وزورونا دايما، هتلاقوا تخفيضات كثيرة وكبيرة وتجدوا كل ما يسركم.
مع أقوى الأفلام مدبلجة.
يمكنكم مشاهدة قناتي في ألوان في أفلام على ديش نتورك وعلى سلينك بلاتفورم.
الدنيا مسرح كبير على زي أفلام، لذا عليك أن تصنع قصتك بنفسك.
From India.
زي ألوان ستبهركم بكل حصري وجديد.
زي أفلام دخلت بيوت جميع عشاق بوليوود، وزي ألوان لونت عالم بوليوود. لا تفوتوا مشاهدة أجمل الأفلام على زي أفلام وزي ألوان.
يمكنكم مشاهدة قناتي زي ألوان زي أفلام على ديش نتورك وعلى سلينك بلاتفورم. قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة سهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، البان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايواي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية. لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. that is 248-538-7855. قشة ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
استوديو زرياب بإدارة حسن حامد في ستوري هايتس يحييكم ويقدم لكم خدماته بالصوت والصورة، تسجيل، تصوير، مونتاج، فيديو كليب، إعلانات، كوميرشالز، دوكيومنتري، أفلام وثائقية للترويج لبضائعكم ومحلاتكم وشركاتكم، برامج تلفزيونية وإذاعية. استوديو زرياب وبتقنية عالية بإدارة حسن حامد 313-945-8860 313-945-8860 أو 248-761-5787. استوديو زرياب، الصوت والصورة اختصاصنا.
Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. We're talking to Marilú Cabrera from the Immigration Office, and we're talking about extending TPS for Yemeni nationals. Before we went on the break, Marilú, we're talking about those who are eligible, who are not eligible for the extension or to get the status. How about families? Does it really cover the entire family, or does it cover only the head head of the family?
Well, no, of course, all individuals are eligible to file. They're here in the United States, the entire family. And so there's specific requirements as far as fee. So each individual does have to pay the fee. The I-821 fee, if you are an initial registrant. So if you've never had TPS and you are now filing for TPS and you're younger than 14, then that fee is $50. If you're re-registering, then there is no fee. So if this is the second time around, there is no fee. Now you do have the filing fee for the I-765. This is kind of tricky, and it's important to understand that everyone has to file that I-765 regardless if you're going to work or not. But if you're 14 and then if you're 14 and older, you need to file that $85 biometric fee, because we will do a complete biometric on everyone. But we will.
And that's fingerprinting and all of that.
Correct. Background check will do the fingerprinting exactly. The fee for if you are going to work, if you are requesting to work in the United States, then the I-765 fee is $410, and you are required to file that $410 fee, as well as the $85 fee if you're 14 years or older for the biometric. Again, the fingerprints and the background check. So that is even if you're re-registering. There's no fee for the I-821 if you're re-registering, but there is a fee for the EAD card. And so it's important, because what slows us down, we've seen in some of these applications, and then people say, oh my goodness, I haven't received it, I filed a long time ago, what's happening? There's a few glitches, there are a few things that will slow us down that you can help us with. First of all, sign the form. It's important. Without that signature, we can't proceed. So please remember to sign your forms, and remember to submit the correct fees. So when you look and you see if you're re-registering, you don't need that I-821 fee, but you do need the fee for the employment if you are going to work in the United States. Of course, if you're not going to work, you file that I-765 form, but you do not file the fee. We don't ask you to file the fee if you're not going to work. But remember, the signing of the forms and submitting the fees is very important.
Sure. So we have two different things here, applying for it to stay and applying also, in addition to that, to work as well.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Because,
some people may confuse that and think, I applied to stay and automatically I have a right to work, which is not really true.
Very important point, absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to file that I-765, because, yes, it's wonderful that if you're re-registering, you say, oh, wonderful, I filed the I-821, and I don't have to worry, I can work. But no, you do have to file that I-765 in order to work. Now, they have extended, because we are a bit behind on our for the I-765, the employment authorization. So your employment authorization has, if you have it already, from already registering for TPS, the existing EADs are now valid through September 3rd, 2017. Okay, so you're able to work here until September 3rd, 2017, and then of course you're going to file the I-765 in order to renew that. But
how long does it take for the whole process?
For the EADs, we regularly update the processing times on our website. I haven't seen the latest. At one point we were at 6 months, but we always update those processing times on our website. So if you go to USCIS.gov, and you can look on processing times and see how long it's taking. And that goes for all our forms, which is good to know, because you may think, oh, I filed 3 weeks ago and I've heard nothing. Now, if you go on our website and you see our processing times and you see the application is taking 3 months, then you're within, the time frame, and that may ease some of the worry or concern that perhaps, nothing's happening with your case. If the EADs may now be at 3 months, but we would have to check on the website with the processing time But again, those are updated regularly. You can check on any application to see what the processing times are. And then, of course, you can always, if you have some concern about your case, you can call the 1-800 number for general information. But if you want specific information on your case, and again, this could be anything, residency, citizenship, what have you, you can make an appointment online with USCIS.gov. It's called InfoPass, and you can come directly into our office and talk to an officer and ask the officer your question. Of course, you have to bring identification with you so that we're not providing that information to someone that's not you. You know, there's some security. But it's good to know that you can come into our office. If you feel your case is backlogged, if you feel that there's something wrong, you certainly have that right to come in.
Is that like more than 3 months? Then you go or you ask, or if you don't find any information at all?
Right. If you see the processing times, you're beyond that processing time. You know, it's best to you check the processing times, you check the website. You're beyond the processing time. It's best to come in, make that appointment first, come in, and that way sort of ease any, fears that you may have that something's wrong, or perhaps, you didn't receive a piece of mail that we sent, asking you for additional information, or reminding you, hey, you didn't sign the form, and you're just sitting there waiting to see what happens, and, it's something simple like that. So it's definitely an option and something good for the listeners to know that they can go and find out and not worry. Bring that identification.
Wonderful.
And say, hey, this is, and also, if you're filing this paperwork by yourself, always make a copy of everything. Make sure that you don't just send something off, and, it's always good to have for yourself a copy.
Sounds
so
good. Well, since we're running out of time, I just wanted to thank you for being with us. This is a great topic, and thanks our listeners. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. We'll be more than happy to funnel you the right information. Marilú, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your diligence to be with us this morning.
Khalil, thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners. Have a good day.
Thank you. And everyone, I just want to wish you happy and safe Thursday. Thank you so much again for being with us from Radio Baladi. This is an important topic, TPS for Yemen. And if you have any questions, give us a call, 248-557-3300. You can log on to wnzk.com. We'll be more than happy to get you the information you need. Thanks again, and goodbye.